Banded pull-aparts have gotten a lot of attention lately, which is fantastic. We spend a lot of time working on our pressing, even on our pulling, but we don't spend nearly as much time working on our rotator cuffs and that upper complex. So adding these into your workout routine, adding them into your warm-up is a great way to go to make sure that you're keeping your rotator cuffs and your rear delt balanced and healthy. So we've got a couple different ways that we can do this movement. The more traditional way is to hold with an overhand grip, okay? Pull across and pull straight to your chest. Okay? You'll see people doing this quite often. The biggest mistakes that I see with this one are, number one, letting the wrists come up or come down. We're either flexing or extending up or down, extending up and down. Really what we want to be is in a straight line with our forearms. When you let those extend or flex, we tend to also bend at the elbow, which you're still going to get a lot with your scapular retraction, but you're not going to get nearly as much out of your rear delt. Give it a shot, try it. Keep those arms straight, keep the wrist neutral, and then the other one is don't arch, okay? Keep your hips stacked, keep your core tight, and then as you pull straight back, hold, back to the front, and hold, okay? Great way to do that exercise. My favorite way, however, to do this exercise is actually to go with, when you're in a pronated grip, your hands are this way, you put your shoulders into internal rotation, which is where we spend the majority of our time when we're working out. Think about all your pressing movements, incline, decline, flat, overhead, all your pressing movements are done from a position of internal rotation. Even with our back movements, with our rowing, we spend a lot of time in internal rotation. We don't spend nearly as much time in external rotation. When was the last time you did a bench press with a supinated grip or an underhand barbell row? We don't spend nearly as much time there. So it's a good idea to get that external rotation and strengthen the external rotators of our shoulder, balance all of that out. So it's the same motion, okay? But actually, so shoulder width grip, I want you to grab onto your band, okay, bring it out in front of you, but this time, instead of keeping everything straight, you're gonna leave just a little bit of a bend in your elbows, and you're actually going to bring your elbows in toward your midline, and you're gonna let the hands come slightly out. So again, also bringing into external rotation of your shoulder, okay? Now the other one that we wanna do, and what I'm gonna have you do on this one, is actually instead of pulling straight back out to the side like we did with that first one, I'm gonna have you bring the band up above your head, about a 45-degree angle. So not directly overhead, somewhere in between directly overhead and down, okay? So up, and you're gonna pull down and back, okay? Same thing, with our pulling, with our pressing, we spend a lot of time working scapular retraction and protraction, okay? Shoulder blades forward, shoulder blades back. But we also wanna work our upward and downward rotation of your shoulder blades as well. So by letting that band come from overhead and pulling down and back, we're still going to get scapular retraction, but you're going to add in downward and upward rotation of your shoulder blades at the same time. Okay, so give this one a shot the next time you go. Some people will say one or the other. I say do both. I do 80 to 90% of the time. I do an underhand grip because, like most people, I don't spend nearly as much time in external rotation. So I definitely want to make sure that those muscles are strengthened and I'm balanced out. But I also don't want to necessarily completely forget about warming things up in internal rotation either. So a lot of time what I'll do is on my leg days, I'll warm things up with some internal rotation. But then on my pushing and pulling days where I'm going to be doing a lot more overhand work, those are the days that I'll bring in a supinated grip with some external rotation. So give those a shot. Let me know how they work.